All right, team, we are back for the Ask Maddie show today, and we have a banger for you. And we are super excited to start 2025 off right with a lot of the questions, comments, and hot takes you guys have for today. Asking about API3 buying there, and Solana, XRP, LimeWire coin, and things to look forward to in 2025. We are going to get into it today, Maddie. But let's discuss the thing we care about most, which is Crypto Charge. Team, click the pin link down below. Become a Crypto Charge member. It is very important that you do that. The shows Monday through Friday, the tools on the website to learn more about the cryptos you care about, take profits, and the community within the Discord. Maddie, what does the team need to know about the Crypto Charge community going into 2025?
Yeah, so our community is incredibly strong, incredibly helpful, and tight knit, I would say, are probably some words I would describe our community with. And the Discord is definitely one of the places where people spend a lot of time. We have a lot of channels in there that are very helpful. A lot of good organized channels in there. We have our trade ideas. We have announcements. We have, of course, the ability to ask questions for tech support. I know a lot of you guys are getting into cold storage. We have you guys supported on that stuff. Obviously some other fun channels in there as well. But on our website, we have tons of tools for you guys. For those of you who maybe don't have as much time to be engaged, even though I think that you're leaving a lot of value on the table by not being in the Discord. Whether if you guys, I know some of you guys are working professionals, you guys have busy lives, you guys have kids. We try to help you, wherever you're at. So we have the coin library with, kind of our updated on a regular basis, potential entry points, our multi-step exits. We have our live updates Monday through Friday where we do, a review of the charts. And we also have our daily edge. So again, like I just mentioned, some of you guys are short on time. You guys can't watch every single live update. That's fine. We give you guys a written summary of each episode. So at the very minimum, you guys can read the summary, maybe check in with the Discord, and be far more plugged in than if you were just doing this on your own. So really, we'd love for you guys to come check us out. Code YouTube will get you guys 30 days free plus 50% off any membership of your choosing.
I love that, Maddie. Team, we're going to have a great show, so you're going to want to stay until the end because we are going to be talking shop, seeing a lot of charting from Maddie here, and we're just going to go over a bunch of charts because it's really looking at your guys' questions. It's really a lot about the technicals. So we're going to be looking at API3, looking at Solana, even LimeWire coins. So make sure you stick until the end. Maddie, let's get into some of these questions, though. Daniel Mayo 5199 says, still adding to API3?
Yep, I sure am adding to API3. There's really just a handful of opportunities that are in my portfolio right now that really need my attention. So out of my DCA right now, I'm primarily focused on Casper, API3, and then I've added Filecoin into the mix for that DCA. But really still the majority of my concentration DCA-wise is on Casper right now just because it's kind of, slightly still, hovering above break even. I'd love to get, around break even so that, the position is a little bit more solid. But API3 is still getting added to. We can take a quick look at the chart here together, team, and kind of just see what's been progressing here as a whole. And again, a lot of you guys maybe will pull up like a Coinbase chart, or you'll pull up a chart that's not actually in a piece of software where you can examine what's happening on a more grand scale. And when we look at API3, a lot of people look at the short-term price action. They look how much it's down from its previous all-time high, and I could point to a variety of alts that are still down 70, 80, 90% from their all-time highs. Kind of irrelevant, especially when some of the all-time highs that are registered are like scam wicks that weren't really buyable. They're just, unreachable prices in the short term. So one of the things that we can look at here is, first of all, when we bring our Fibonacci and our swing high, swing low, we're still below the macro 236. So actually, I'll just tighten this up just a tiny bit here so we're accurate together as a team. So let's just call it $3.10 is technically, if you follow the consistent investor strategy, the top range of where it's like, okay, after this price, it's no longer lucrative. However, when we also examine some of the other pricing that's available in here, we look at some of the other wicks, we can see close to like 230 is kind of where we've had a lot of price action, as well as like the $1.92. So let's call it 2 to 230 being like the more highly value top, and then $3.10 being like the absolute top we would consider. So I still love that we have an accumulation opportunity here. The less and less charts are going to look like this as the bull market progresses. So this is the gift. The other thing I see here is kind of like a big cup and handle forming in here potentially. And these will a lot of the times kick off massive impulses, multi-X impulses. Again, we are looking at like a $16 price point as our first big unload here. So from current market price, API3 is offering upwards of like a 9 to almost 10X opportunity from current market just to that TP1. So, a lot of people will look at some of the other large caps out there and they're like, yeah, but like, don't you want to front load with all of these, larger caps that have really thriving ecosystems? Yeah, sure. There's nothing wrong with that. But when I look at the opportunity, I look at ROI, API3 is still still presenting the opportunity. So I'm continuing to hunker it in. Again, as you guys were following along with us, I did sell some of my API3 about 25% between 350 and 425. So this is also a reaccumulation for me. So I'm kind of buying everything back, plus adding a little bit more because the price is still lucrative. So again, this is not financial advice. You guys need to do your own research, but oracles are important. Smart contracts need to be fed with first-party oracles. API3 does that. It has a vastly smaller market cap than Chainlink. So if you guys want oracle exposure, the Chainlink is multiple $billion now, and you're looking for something that's a few $100 million. API3 is a fantastic choice to consider.
Maddie, I wanted to talk about something here, what we discussed on Monday's show. Can you clean up your chart really quick since you have it pulled up and just leave your Fibonacci here? I said something on Monday, and I don't think I really got to elaborate on it. And I said something to the effect of I was able to get a sniper entry on HBAR and maybe even Zcash just because of me opening a position right at that time. I didn't get to elaborate on the fact that I had been staring at these charts for months on end, right? So when Maddie charts these, 5 days a week, I got to stare at these charts forever. And at some point it became, it was like, oh my gosh, like how could I pass up this opportunity? This is an all-time low. So why would I pass up on this opportunity? And so that's why I took those sniper. That was the reason why I was able to get those sniper entries, because we recognized where it was at. But with this, what Maddie was just talking about, going below the 23.6, and I think this is very important, thinking about where we're about to get into in the bull run and where we're going to get into in the bear market, is right when you look at API3 here, when it broke below 23.6, that Fibonacci level, and if you started buying, that you can't time the bottom like me. You're not probably going to be able to sit there and be able to time an entry. So that's why going into the next bear market, Matt, it's like right when it breaks below that, start your buying, turn on your DCA automatically. Right. Because in a bear market, we spend all of those days, look at the majority of those days. We are under $1.06. We're at $1.05. We're at $1.02. So we were majority of those days, that's what would have been your average, right? And that's a great average. That's a really good average. So I just wanted to count that out because I didn't really get to elaborate that on Monday, and someone's like, maybe I will just hold out my bag for a sniper entry. It's like, you really have to be on this every single day to get an entry like that. And that happened twice in my portfolio. Look at Casper. Look at how wrecked I got on Casper. And that if I would have just waited, you never know when you're going to snag the bottom. You only know it now going into bull, and it's like, wow, damn, I really got that HBAR and Zcash entry. Right, Matt?
Right. Definitely. It's when you guys DCA through the bear market and you just identify those levels, it makes it so much easier to just build a position that's meaningful. And then if you want to be more tactical and throw in some limits and you kind of see ranges being developed to kind of like, create additions to that, that's fine. I think that it also alleviates a lot of stress in this market because a lot of people try to time it perfectly and you're just not going to. And I even know that as a technical analyst, I've been doing charts for almost 9 years now. And I just know that the market will always be the winner. So I have to trade or at least build positions over longer periods of time versus trying to time the market perfectly with lump sum, right? It's just really not going to work out that way. Banks and institutions and market makers just have so much more money, power, and influence than you and I do. So we're not going to catch every little move that the banks are making, right? So our goal is to catch, let's say, even 65% of the moves that the banks make. We're in a pretty good spot, right? Mm-hmm. So once we kind of make that agreement with ourselves and understand we're not going to sell the top, by the way, we're not most likely selling the top. I probably will be taking profits before the actual top comes in, but I'm okay with that. So you guys need to make tolerances for yourself, both with the entry side as well as the top side. Understand you're not going to buy the bottom, and you're not going to sell the top. So if we can do a good job of buying somewhat near the bottom and selling somewhat near the top, we're in good shape, right?
Betty the Jet says, what is the reward potential for Solana?
Sure. So let's take a look at Solana here. Again, there's nothing bad I'm going to say about Solana, right? High throughput. Obviously had quite a few network outages, right? So, and I know that we can shit on other smaller, newer networks that have network outages unacceptable there. But when you have meme coin volume, it's acceptable on other networks. But whatever. I mean, it's just kind of part of technology. When you look at the situation for Solana, again, anyone who bought these lows, $8, $10, $12, $15, congratulations. Like I'm really happy for you guys. You made a lot of money, right? Current market though, we are up about 23x on Solana. So I just want you guys to look at kind of the opportunity here, and it's just becoming smaller and smaller, right? And as market cap grows, it takes more money to make the market move the same percentage as it was down here in September, January, and so forth, right? So when we look at the swing high, swing low in here, which we haven't quite cracked too aggressively, beyond this all-time high here, we're looking at like 420 upwards of maybe $1,100 as a full extension, right? So again, everyone goes, well, it could go much further. Yeah, it sure could go much further, right? But I've also seen stuff only hit a 2.618. I've seen stuff hit these upper extensions and then turn down. You guys have to, at some point, decide you're going to take profit. Otherwise, you're just going to be forever bag holders. And I don't think that that's something you guys are interested in. Current market, though, right? Current market up to that next extension is about 120% move. To the full extension is about a 4.5x. This is basically one of the reasons why at this point, when everyone's asking me about Solana, I'm like, yeah, we can, of course, like talk about a scale out plan, but like the entries are gone, right? Like the good entries are completely gone. And I just don't see the risk reward there. Like a 4X is just not that great to me, right? Like I might as well go and load up on NVIDIA or load up on Tesla and try to get a 3 or 4X out of that. When I know that there's lots of other altcoin opportunities that are highly legitimate, that are not meme coins, that are offering vastly more than a 4X without even breaching their all-time high. So Solana being upwards of maybe like a 4 or 5X to that full extension.
Irish Rover 408 says tomorrow is the monthly token unlock for XRP. On the 1st of January 2025, Ripple will release 1 billion XRP tokens as part of its operational funding strategy. Historically, such events cause selling pressure.
Not always. And again, probability is not absolutes, right? You can also look at a variety of other factors that impact the way that price moves, right? We can say like, oh, well, XRP moved down today on the same day of an unlock, but if the rest of the market's also moving down, is that really unique pressure on XRP? Probably not. So again, guys, this is just a normal mechanism that's been happening for years and years and years and years and years. Like before XRP was even traded heavily like it is on centralized exchanges now, this unlock has been happening, right? So we can always point to it. I know everyone wants to have like a narrative to grab onto of like, oh, I'm going to get a great XRP buying opportunity because of this unlock that's happening. It always goes right back into the wallet, gets locked up again, and you guys can look at that pattern, and it is a consistent pattern. So immediate sell pressure because of an unlock? I don't think so.
One Don 8523 says, "Hey broskies, is it possible to get a review on LimeWire coin? What are your thoughts about it? I think it will make a crazy run too."
We're not going to do a full review for you guys. You guys have a responsibility to do some research on your own, right? Go first of all, CoinMarketCap. Go look at some of the quick stats on there. Look at circulating supply. Look at market capitalization. Use the links there to go check out the website, read through the white paper, right? And if that sounds like too much work to you, then probably shouldn't be buying it at all, right? So make sure you guys are going and doing your own research. Like it's very important that you guys understand what you're invested in. I know that there's a vast majority of people out there that own a good amount of crypto and like couldn't explain the basic fundamentals of like even the consensus model of how the project works. So please do yourself a favor, guys, get educated. When it comes to LimeWire, as you guys know, previously was a website to basically share like pirated files, right? Like I'm sure many of you guys ruined your family computers like I did as a young person with LimeWire, and downloading music and sharing music with your friends. It was seized by the U.S. government many years ago. And then I want to say like maybe a couple years ago, it was actually an NFT marketplace. Someone bought it, the website NFT marketplace, and now it's a project for like file sharing, right? So like with like Google Drive, like you have to have an account, and it's tied to you. In this instance, up to a certain size, you can basically just pop someone else's email in there, upload the file without having to actually have an account and send files. And I'm sure that part of the business model is that larger file sizes require you to use LimeWire token or something of that nature. But again, that's just speculation. But that's just taking a quick peek at the website. That's what I was looking at. Let's go ahead and do a quick chart look here. Let's see if we even have enough. I think it's LMWR. Yeah. And let's see what kind of USD pairings. We do have the crypto listing here. Okay, so we have enough price history to actually do a little bit of technical analysis, believe it or not. So the correction definitely has been aggressive in here, and we even had this after this first pop. We're seeing another correction here, which I do like. Again, big reason why I don't panic in buying these impulses, because I know, especially when you just get good market timing, you can get meaningful corrections in here. You got a 94% correction here from April of this year down in November. So again, good launch timing here. So I mean, a very initial launch bad, but then just a few months later, you have the market picking up as a whole, and just everything flies. Especially when you have newly listed coins. And I think LimeWire got listed on Uphold recently, so I'm sure that's probably why you guys are starting to see it now. What I'd be looking for here is, first of all, this was a beautiful breakout back test. So you had this double top in here, you had the breakout, you never got the back test. You guys can see we just kept climbing. You finally got that back test, and we bounced hard off that back test. So that's a good sign. You also have this little bounce in here and a little bit of contention back here from November of 23. That would be an area of interest where I could see us maybe bouncing again. So we'll also mark up the bottom of the zone as kind of like the bottom of interest. So let's say between 22 and 24 cents might be a good idea to consider like layering in. We can also, of course, bring in our Fibonacci. If you guys want your Fibonacci to just drop like it does here on stream, we have tutorials on our website to set up your Fibonacci exactly like mine. You guys can have your targets made, identify your areas of interest for DCA, in a matter of seconds if you guys just take a little bit of time to set up your Fibonacci settings. So we go swing high, swing low off of the most recent range here. We're below the 236, right? We also rejected from the 50 week here just recently. So short-term bearish, also dropping below the 50 days. So maybe a DCA opportunity here. Definitely have mitigated risk though by starting to look at an entry here. The big extension I'd be looking at for the first TP would be around 280 or so, right? So from current market, that's upwards of like a 10x. But if we were to look at maybe like a little bit more of an aggressive entry and wait for maybe like a 17-cent price point here, we can see maybe upwards like a 15x. So there's definitely a bigger reward to be had by waiting for a little bit longer. We definitely see a little bit of a short-term downtrend breaking below the MAs. So you might get an opportunity here. So I would say this is a good one to consider DCAing into if you really wanted to get involved. And again, that's just from a technical perspective, not financial advice. You guys need to do your own research.
Maddie, one nice comment to lead off the day. Super Polly's World 8170 says, "What a team. You guys are the best out there. Super fun, super brilliant, and just good guys all around. Thank you for all you do to help us. A great, awesome 2025 to you both."
I really appreciate that. It means a lot. And it's really been a wonderful journey here on YouTube. Obviously, we've shaped our program and that's its own thing. But, our presence here on YouTube and on X really is thanks to you guys. And I appreciate you guys showing up and participating in the shows and leaving your comments and questions. It really is an enjoyable part to my week. I know some of this is obviously marketing to show you kind of what we do and what Crypto Charter is about and kind of a little bit about us. But it's also just been a really, really great pleasure to be able to be a part of this community and educate you guys a little bit and hopefully bring you guys a little bit of value that helps you guys make more actionable investing decisions for yourself. So again, I would love for you guys to take this beyond YouTube, take this beyond X, and take it beyond socials, which I appreciate you guys showing love on. Come check us out at Crypto Charge, 30 days free. You guys have no risk of checking us out for a whole month. I just can't see you guys spending a whole month checking out the coin library, checking out all the quick start educational resources, the consistent investor strategy, being in the Discord and saying, what, this sucks for $50 a month. I just can't see that being a reality for most of you guys. So start your 2025 right. Come check us out. I would really appreciate you guys being in the community for even a month just to see what we're all about.
I love that, Maddie. Team, it was a great 2024, and we are going to make it a great 2025. I'm very excited for this year. New things on the horizon. We covered a lot of great topics today, Matt. Team, if you got something valuable, make sure you leave a like, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.